Hello. Hey, Zoe.
Hi.
So it looks right now like we're the only ones here.
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm sorry. I'm putting my slippers on because my feet are cold.
Okay.
So are you still working or anything?
Yes.
You are. Where do you work?
I'm a peer mentor in the advising center at St. Philip's.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
you have to do it all telemarketing or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I got this really nice little stand to put my computer on so I can go up and down so my neck isn't all cricked and everything. But I go and I use it when I sit on the sofa too because it's easier on my back. And every time I move to the table, I can't figure out the exact right configuration to get it right again. I know that Mr. Hardy's going to be joining us. So
Okay.
I know at least one other person is. I am going to, while we're waiting for everybody, I'm going to go and open up. Was yours on YouTube?
No, mine was emailed, I believe.
You know what?
Oh no, I think mine was on the. I don't know.
I'm going to go into Ace's, because if yours is, do you have access to yours that you could pull yours up if you needed to?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's Maya.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up Aces. I'm pulling up Blackboard right now. Not Blackboard, Canvas. I also work at Our Lady of the Lake, and they use Blackboard there. So Blackboard,
Okay.
Canvas, Blackboard. I get confused sometimes on what we're doing. I was just telling Zoe that I know that Mr. Hardy said he would come. He wanted to invite like the whole department, and I'm like, I'm not sure yet. I'm like,
I mean, that would have been cool. I've no shame.
okay, I was gonna say, but some other people who aren't here right now might not want to have their show. If I had had more time to ask you guys, hey, is it all right?
Yeah.
You know, then some of them might go, oh no, I don't want it. You know, whatever. I don't know. But most of them look really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm up at the grades thing right now. Here to shame you all for not turning things in. Where is it? Everybody took their final exam though. I was very happy about that.
Okay, I'm glad.
That's good. Yeah.
Except one person. I haven't heard from Jada, and I haven't heard from Jada. I looked in, the last thing she turned in was April 6th. So I say some prayers for Jada. I'm hoping she's not sick or something. Hope she doesn't have COVID or anything weird like that, or taking care of somebody with that. But anyhow, she was the only one. I haven't heard from her in a while. But everybody else, we're good. It was funny because like 2 people had taken the final exam and 3 people had turned in the final project, but they weren't the same people. I was like, okay, so everybody needs to do something. Some people had to do more than one thing. Okay, I'm looking for it's hard to look and talk at the same time. I'm looking for, sometimes when I go like this with my computer, like the whole page changes, and it's a Mac, and I've had it for like 5 years and I still haven't figured it out. So here we go. Okay, I'm at midterms now. All right, here we go. I wanted to be able to pull up the other videos in case people didn't show up. Okay. Why can't I find the final project? Hello. Here it is, final project. Okay. Only one person so far turned in a paper, and then 4 of you turned in films. And then 3 people still haven't turned anything in. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they haven't turned something. Although I think Cameron rather, said that he was doing a paper.
Mm.
He was going to do like a real in-depth study of Spirited Away. Okay. Because had either of you seen that movie before this class?
No.
Okay. One yes and one no. My son, who is 20, who I base everything off of, he'd seen it before and he was really excited. And so I told him I wanted to watch it again because it had been a long time since I had seen it, so that I, refresh the things that we were talking about. And he insisted that we watch it in the original Japanese. So just saying,
Okay.
the subtitles and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he said the dubbing was just horrible.
Yeah, dubbing gets on people's nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is because, and they can never translate things exact.
No, it's always a weird translation. Yeah.
And what really bugs me is when they say, huh? All the time in anime. Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do that a lot.
One of my pet peeves is, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
And my son explained to me that in Japanese, it's more like, or, something that we would say that we wouldn't even hear that we would say.
Which is weird because they actually have a word for like, so it's just an additional
An additional like whatever.
Which I always feel bad because I always want to support fellow voice actors, but I'm like, this is awful.
Hey, look at you. You look all professional, Maya.
Thank you.
It's like, look at your mic. And wow, you've got a background. You got it all set. You got lighting.
I mean, this is just a wall. Like, this is just a regular wall. I'm actually on my bed.
I was gonna say, you know what it looks like, because the way that the camera is, it looks like it's narrowed you down, so it looks like you have black on the sides and white in the middle, but it's just the middle part that we're seeing. And then we see the big mic. Okay.
Yep. The illusion.
The illusion. Aww. I have a snowball microphone that I got a long time ago to do voiceovers and stuff, and then I never did it. I got one gig and then I never even finished up on it. Some guy he was making a video game and he wanted me to do like a little girl voice, like this. I did like several takes for him, and I'm like, that's the one you want me to do? Oh my God. I don't know if I can do a whole show like this.
Yeah. It just takes a lot.
Well, it does. And so I've tried to do, so in order to teach an online class, none of the other teachers had to do this, who just automatically had to teach online classes this semester. But in order to teach an online class, St. Philip's requires you to take their course, which was good because, I kind of knew, what to do, but they teach you all about Canvas, and they teach you all about, what you should do, and, how many announcements you should send, things like that, just, and talk about Canvas and to put things in modules. And so it's a whole big, summer. I was like 3 or 4 weeks, I don't know, 6-week long class. We go like once a week and, turn things in. It was over the summer. And during that time, one of the things that I did was I took original PowerPoints that I had, and then I voiced over them. So it was like I was reading them and I was talking about them. It was like I was in a class. And they thought that was the best thing since sliced bread, man. But to do that voiceover work was horrid because I told you I have a Mac, Mac Pro, and the PowerPoint does not work well with Macs. And recording the audio on the PowerPoint was disabled or wasn't working for Macs. I had to put calls all the way up to Microsoft. This was a year and a half ago, and they still call me back and say, we're still working on it. We're still working. So I had to go find an old PC and record it on there, but it was a pain.
Are you more of a Mac person anyways, or is that just what you happen to have?
Well, I've had it for like 5 years, so I guess I'm a Mac person now. I always had PCs before,
Mhm.
but and I got the Mac because I really wanted to do more video, and you know, it's the best thing to have for that.
Yeah, it's the creative, you
Right,
know.
the creative person's computer.
Mhm.
So if you're going to draw, if you're going to do film, or if you're going to, you know, do things together, and then, but really, I will tell you that what is iMovie
Mhm.
is not as user friendly as like Windows Movie Maker was. And I realized that Windows Movie Maker had nothing in it, but all back when I was using Windows Movie Maker, all I was doing was I had my company, Acting Up Creative Drama Academy, and I would storyboard things out and then film it pretty much in order, you know, cut and paste it together, and the kids had a video, you know.
I think I did that for a theater class. We did it on an iPad, and it had something like Movie Maker in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It on the iPad too, they had one of the girls came and she just blew me away because they had something where you can do a trailer.
Mhm.
So you can take all these little clips or whatever and stick them in the trailer, and it puts music behind it, and you know, and the princess, and it will show somebody, and it'll da da da. It's like you've never seen it before, and it has like voiceover in it and stuff. That's pretty cool. But I'm not. I don't have an iPad, so I'm not taking my computer up and filming things. As a matter of fact, I have to film something today, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm just going to film it like this. Probably, you know, for one of my past students is graduating from high school.
Mhm.
And like I had her when she was 10 or something. I was like, oh, and she's gone on to this school for singing in Michigan or something. I don't know, but she's going to Juilliard next year. She's got this gorgeous voice. And so I'm supposed to record something for her. I'm kind of just wasting time because I'm waiting for other people to join us. Like Mr. Hardy. I'm going to email him right now. Actually, I'm going to text him and say, where are you?
Yeah, one of my my art teacher this year, she decidedly to get all of her students' numbers so that she had access to text them because we're more likely to respond to texts and emails.
Wait, what, okay, I've lost something. No, I don't want to do that. Go away, Zoom thing. I'm trying to get back to the meeting. I don't want to rename myself. I don't want to hide my view. I just want to get back to the meeting. Okay, until I'm very, I'm technically challenged sometimes. I'm not a boomer, but I'm close. Okay. My sister, though, she doesn't even know how to use a phone, so I don't feel quite so bad. All right. Vincent Hardy. Oh, goodness, I have two numbers for him now, and I don't know which one is which. That's
You could,
frustrating, too.
you could always send a group text to both.
That's true. That's true. We'll add Vincent. There we go. Now it won't show me the other one, so this must be the right one, I guess. Okay. Are you coming to our very brief film festival? It is now. Okay. Looking at my contacts again, seeing if, make sure I did the right number. Yeah, that's the right number. tock, tick tock, tick tock. I know that somebody said they might have to work. I thought Johnny was coming. Maybe Johnny had to work. So what I was going to do, I was going to kind of wait for people to get here, but what I was going to do was show the video and then let us ask questions to the author of the video and then show the video again.
Okay, that sounds
Because
good.
a lot of these are like, what? Experimental, you know, kind of things or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, okay, what were you going for here? So while we're waiting, let me go ahead. I'm going to bring up some people. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Johnny's and we'll look at his.
Okay.
And then I can tell you at least what he said on his, when I asked him questions. Okay, let's see. Where's Johnny? Here we go, speed creator. Okay, I didn't have the video anymore. I think he emailed it to me. Yay, all right, so now we're going there. Thank you guys for being so patient.
Yeah, I mean, this was like my best class, so.
Yeah, for real, this was really fun.
I'm glad you liked it. I liked it too. I felt, you know, we were a little disconnected and I will be honest with you, I'd never Zoomed before for all of this. Now we all have. So I think with other classes that I might go ahead and meet at the very beginning and like Zoom so we can all see each other, at least know who we're commenting on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the video again. Yay. Oh, this is one we have to download. Yeah, hold on. I have him open it when done. It says 1 minute, so that's good. And then I will share it with you. Let's see. Go back over to you guys. And then I will share my screen. Got a lot of stuff on my screen. Oh, I didn't even know I had PowerPoint open. Look at that. I have all those things open. I'm going to actually share my desktop with you. Now you can see all my crazy stuff. But hopefully, see it says opening in 1 minute. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 29 seconds, 28 seconds. No, wait, wait. What do you mean it can't be opened? I did
Is
not
there
have
something
you before.
about, is the file different? Is it not?
It looked like an MOV file format.
It is an MOV file.
Yeah.
And I opened it before because I saw it before.
Try right-clicking it. Maybe you can open it up with a different,
Application.
there you go.
Need to open an incognito window. Let me see.
No, once it downloads, click on the little box on the bottom and then right-click on that. See if maybe you can open it with a different.
Yeah. We're gonna open when done. We'll see if it. Just make it smaller so I can still see it. Because I've got, not only that, I've got QuickTime, then I've got this MK player. So it should open. Could not be opened.
Try showing it in folder, maybe, and then trying to open it up with the MK player. Maybe that'll work.
It's a good idea.
Because sometimes
Okay.
files are weird.
No. Oh, this is this one of yours? You guys recognize this? This is it then. Hold on. No. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to turn up my volume so you can hear it. And it's 5 minutes. Here we go. are your questions?
I was trying to figure out the genre. I thought it was gonna be a gangster movie, but then I wasn't too sure.
What do you think, Maya?
I mean, he used a MacGuffin. That's cool. Especially in the way that he did use it. It's just that I guess throughout, like if you use a MacGuffin, it's typically better to see it like for the first time, not like all the way at the end. Like you see it the first time and then you see it a second time and then you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, the genre was hard to pick up on.
I agree with you. I thought it's
But
murder. You know,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
the last scene
hitman?
reminded me when I was doing my research for the film noir. There's another movie that where like the ending is where he opens or she opens the box and there's like a light in it. So then I was like, oh, maybe it's film noir.
That's what I think he was going for.
Okay.
Let me, I'm going to let you guys hear what his paper was, since he's not here. That's where we go. But I'll read it to you. I'm not going to show you. His misspellings. No, I didn't say that. I am a grammar Nazi. So in the beginning, I like was all, you know, marking up your papers. And at the end, I'm like, I don't care anymore. That's not what this class is about. I'll find it again. And the grading thing, because I mixed it in here. I like put it before. Here we go, final project. So, oh, hold on a second. Go to my speed grader. It was called The Assist. So, well, I'll just read it. Doing this project wasn't considered homework to me, but a chance to test my skills at projecting my imagination on film. The Assist is a short film about a freelance private investigator named Ronnie who receives a mysterious message from a shadowy figure. Following the instructions with assistance from the shadow figure, he discovers a box with a glowing object inside. The object is left to interpretation, and so is the reason behind the objective of the main character. The neo-noir film genre has always been a favorite of mine. I'm fans of films such as Drive, 2011, Only God Forgives, 2013, and even to much criticism, Spring Breakers, 2012. The last film isn't so much the storyline I love, but the cinematography, setting, and music. He's just saying that that was his brother and wide shots and stuff like that. His favorite part was staging the bedroom scene, doing the lighting effects. So he was the actor, Johnny was the actor and producer, and his brother, Christian, did some of the cinematography and stuff. So that's that. To me, that one was, it was kind of long for what he was going for.
Yeah, because most of it was like the cinematic, you know, buildups. And I did see that he looped back to some of the previous used shots, which I mean, like, it was cool for the time because I get that he was mostly taking inspiration from Drive, because Drive does that. But the big thing about Drive was the reason why they did that was because their main character was, you know, a specific person surrounding cars. So all of it was about the drive.
Right, and was driving, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the main point of this story. I liked the, you know, so seeing the, you know, there's downtown on one side and there's downtown on the other side. We get, okay, he went and he's going back. Mm-hmm. But what really threw me off, and this is one of the criticisms that I gave him, was that you have to blur out the time on those things. Because he got the message at like 11 something and then he was driving at 10 something. So at first I thought, well, maybe he's traveling in his memory back. And, you know, if it's like this where there are no words and you're trying to guess, it could be anything. Mm-hmm. So that was fairly confusing to me because there was the time on the phone and then there was the time in the car, and it looked like he kept zooming in to me because I hadn't seen Drive. Looked like he was zooming in on his bracelet, and I kept trying to figure out, oh, that's significant. That's significant if he's zooming in on it. Mm-hmm. So you have to remember as a filmmaker that people are going to draw their attention to the things that you draw their attention to. That's the whole point. And you have to make sure that their attention is not swayed by something unintentional.
Yeah. Now that he said in the essay that it was, detective related, I was like, oh, okay, that's why he had the wine bottle in the beginning, because the whole Lou is that,
they're drunks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
pretty much.
It's the drunk detective who's, yes. Yeah, we just didn't have the woman to save him or whatever. Yeah. But, or the femme fatale or, whatever. But I think he had some nice cinematography. I think that there was some, that it was not a terrible story. It was something we've seen, but not something everybody's seen. But you guys as filmmakers should be a little more aware. I should be able to go, that was good. And that was, So I don't know. Do you guys want to see that one again now that you know? Or it was long enough the first time?
I'll let Zoe decide because she's been quiet.
Zoe, unmute yourself. Talk.
Sorry, I have to do like a little mini work meeting, so
I
was muting that for that. No big deal. Yeah, I think the first time, because I kind of got the inspiration of film noir a little bit because of so many shots of the skyline, and like that's one of the main components of a film noir is like it has to be shot on location. So then I was like, okay. And then once he said drive, I was like, okay, I get, because I was like, this is like really long and a lot of driving scene. Like there has to be a reason for the drive scene. Like, so it makes more sense now that I kind of like put everything together.
This is the one when I was thinking, I'm not sure that we want the whole department to come and see this. It just seems so long. It just seems so long without a point.
Yeah.
So, and maybe if it were, if that were the point of the film, it would have been different. But anyhow. Okay, so let's see. Who else isn't here that we could pick apart? I mean, or Johnny. I wish he was here that we could tell him what we felt. I mean, I did, but I'd like to hear from other people too. Okay, let me see. Who else? She's got a work meeting going on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to lower it.
You're right, that's all right. Okay, let's see, Zoe's here. Maya's here. Candace.
I'm actually glad to see that somebody was able to use like another person in theirs.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you see the next one. Okay. Oh, let me get that going. Click here to view the media recording. Oh wait, stop. I'm gonna have to share my screen again with you guys.
Sounds good.
Okay. I think this might be it. We'll see. Do y'all see anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is there a kid on the couch?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
you doing? We gotta go. Let's go.
Wait, but so I think someone's been using my PS4. It's been acting strange.
Look, we gotta go. So you gotta hurry up. Let's go, Chris. We're gonna be late. And by the way, somebody's been eating all the popcorn.
What?
Somebody ate all the popcorn for the party.
What are you talking about?
I know it's you.
Okay. I don't even like popcorn. I'm allergic to food.
Your mom's gonna get upset.
It wasn't me. It was probably, I don't know, the dog or something.
Whatever.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, damn it.
Stop the beat
What are you doing? Dad? Come on, let's go. Look.
with all this fun?
Look, he was like playing my game. Look, he's right there. He was just playing the game. He was just there going.
What?
Yeah, look. That was like no normal. I swear, I saw him.
Chris, you can
He
think
was
of
playing my
better things than
game.
this.
Look. First the popcorn, the game, now this. No one believes me. Not even my dad believes me, man. It's just like the movies. No one believes the person.
Hey Chris, I can talk too.
Okay.
Wow.
So
It was definitely entertaining.
it was different.
It's cute.
Cute, yeah.
It's cute, yeah.
It was not what I was expecting. So
Very like old Disney film.
yeah, it was like Home Alone.
Yeah.
You know, but that was cute.
But in terms of the genres that we have as an option,
Yeah, that one didn't fit any of them.
yeah.
I think it was supposed to be, yeah, mystery. Let me see what she actually wrote. Let's see. It's a short film parody because I told you guys you could do parodies. It's parodies of home. It's a parody towards Home Alone and Flushed Away.
Okay.
The dog finds escape from his owners by exploring their personal belongings while they're out. The ending leaves the teenager speechless as any other human would probably be. The music choice for our human-like dog, Courage, was to brighten up the mood. Okay, in the beginning, the lighting are important because the pink was the inner peace within Christian, the black is the mystery within his life, and finally the blue to represent Christian and even the dog's form of heaven, which is the games that they play. Okay. Beginning of the parody, I focused on camera placement. The first scene, the camera was far back, almost to the point we could not see one of the protagonists. It was done purposefully to tell the audience that we don't know who this character is and we feel somewhat distant from him. And later in the film, while Christian is playing the games and exploring his PS4 problem to his father, the camera has the opposite effect. The camera is closest to the protagonist's face. In fact, the film finishes close to his face to remind us of how we know a little more of him. So, I guess because I said parody, so it was a parody.
Yeah. She unintentionally created a rule of thirds. Maybe it was purposely done. I don't know.
She mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, when I assume that's her brother and her dad when they were walking.
It's her son and her dad, I think.
Oh.
Maybe maybe it's her brother and her dad. Yeah, I think she did say her brother and her dad. But yeah.
Yeah, well, either way, she had them like almost perfectly lined up, and I was like, wow, jealous.
You see things differently now, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I feel like when it came to the music, I know this is like considering it didn't really apply to any of the genres that we had a selection from. If she wanted to take the chance of maybe doing a parody of Detective, she could have changed up the music and ultimately it still would have been the same. Like it still could have somewhat applied.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I do find background music fascinating. That's why I had you guys, you know, look at all the different backgrounds for that one Pirates of the Caribbean, you know. You saw Jack Sparrow with the different music behind him, and it can mean completely different things. And but yeah, you're right. She changed the music on it, and it could be kind of a detective movie. She made it in black and white, and you know, it's kind of the film noir, or what, you know, it could be spooky or scary, or you know, something like that. So yeah, it wasn't really. I don't know what family fun comedy, what genre that falls in, right?
I think it's like a subgenre of what is it? It's like one of those like
subgenres of comedy.
Yeah, like Air Bud and like animal comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Or even if she like changed up like the video game that the dog was playing, it could have been like easily like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Little Chucky or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog is vicious, crazy horror. Yeah. You know, it's true. It depends on what she chose for those things. That, you know, it also goes to show us our choices, you know, can change things completely.
Yeah.
Just one choice. Finding the perfect music can make your movie happen or not.
That's what I was having a struggle with for sure, was the music.
Yeah, they do. I have gone to purchase music before where, you know, it's royalty free, but somebody's played all these things, and it's like having to listen to so many different tracks and things. And luckily, you know, for this class and for my other classes, I can always say education, you know, so I can use most music, you know, as long as I give credit, I can use most music because it was for education, it was for kids. But that's a really hard thing. I was working on a series. Well, it was a pilot for a series, and we had the most horrible time. It was a zombie thing. We had the most horrible time finding the background music, because if you listen, just about everything you watch, unless it's a sitcom, you know, there's music playing behind it. And the sitcoms throw the laugh tracks in. Somebody once told me that most of those laugh tracks were things that were made like in the 30s. So the laugh tracks are like from, you know, I Love Lucy and stuff like that, when they still had live audiences. And so basically all the people that you're listening to that are laughing are all dead. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, it's haunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next time you watch a sitcom, you'll, you know, Big Bang Theory, and go, Creepy people. Okay. And my favorite show, I gotta share this with you guys. It just ended. It's Modern Family. Okay, I loved everything about that. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it, but I
No,
thought
Modern Family is hilarious.
brilliant. It was brilliant. That my husband swore. I mean, we had a bet. We kind of do this sometimes. Like, no, we both are very stubborn. We're both Scorpios. It's kind of a hard situation. But I'm trying to adjust this video thing. But he swore that there was a laugh track in Modern Family, and I'm like, no, there's not. And you think there's a laugh track because every once in a while they do to the camera. You know, they look at the camera. And so it's like you've got a connection with these people. So yeah, I always thought that Modern Family was brilliant, just brilliant. There was never, it was not you know how sometimes you can just predict what's going to happen. You know, it's like, oh, looks like it's this kind of setup. No, there were always things that made me laugh. There were always things that were not really predictable. Anyhow, I go on. Hey, my husband and I just started watching Medici. Maybe y'all know anything about Medici?
I think I've seen like parts of it.
Dustin Hoffman's in it, and Dustin Hoffman is one of those actors that I tip my hat to because he is a character actor. He can play a different role in every show. You know, I don't know if you've seen a lot of his work. Well, you know, he did Tootsie back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Graduate when he was young. He did Rain Man, where he was the autistic man. And he did Meet the Parents, where he was the dad and Barbara Streisand was the mom. It's hysterical. But anyhow, he's one of those character actors, not Tom Cruise, who plays himself all the time. Okay, we ready to watch one of yours?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Who would like to go?
Maya.
I'll go if you don't want to.
Okay.
I mean, well, it's also kind of like because you're a voice actor, and I had to voice act at the very I had to voice act at the very end because the people I had to voice act for me dropped out, and it's hard. It was so hard. I was like, I don't know how how voice actors do it because it's hard. Like it was really rough.
Okay.
I mean,
do you have yours that you can pull up, or do you want me to pull it up?
could you pull it up? Because actually, well, I mean, yeah, could you pull it up? Because I had to make some adjustments with my editing software because I was showing somebody else some of it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Let me get back to that grading page. Every time I go back to the grading thing, it brings me back to the beginning. So bear with me one moment, please.
I can pull up mine while you're looking for hers if that's fine.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, when we get to yours, I'll definitely be like, wow, voice acting.
It was really hard. Like, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. And then, like, having to hear your voice over and over again, I was like, oh my God, shut up. Like, stop.
Well, that's something that, like, it's more about, like, training your ear to get used to knowing what you actually sound like.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you don't like how you sound, then just totally go with a character, like some random, like, oh, hello, you know, like just, you just go with the flow with it. The only thing is that it's like, if you were attempting to voice act like a male, then that's hard.
Yeah. Things sound like this.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest part because the main person in my film was a dude, and like the actor totally just like went MIA, and I was so mad, and it was like last minute. Thank God for Reddit, because Reddit has like a voice acting community, and they came through like hardcore for me. So yeah,
that's good.
Yay, Reddit. YouTube has those too. Okay, this is Maya, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, Maya, what really threw me off was that it's in color right here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think maybe in my editing, it like, because it was basically like a filter,
Yeah.
and it just moved over a little bit.
And I'm thinking, because I was trying to, after I saw it once, I was thinking, well, when did it go from color to black and white? And I had to go back and look at it a couple times. I watched all of these like several times, but anyhow, all right. So here's Maya. Go away. Sorry.
With my father also. As we all are together alone,
Together. Alone together.
Pasta. It's just a hobby. You have no passion for it. You have no drive for it. No. No.
Alone
I
together.
climbed up onto myself lying in bed. First I reached out under the sheets and touched my feet. My hands were warm against my cold feet. Something seductive about myself and how I did it. I then proceeded to pin myself down as I climbed up onto myself. I looked down at myself, a wicked smile on my face. It's just a hobby. You don't actually care for it. Look how passionless you are. When was the last time you wrote? It's like that. You keep trying to treat it like it's a big deal. It's just a hobby. And I found myself saying it in my dream. I see something that inspires an idea, I go write it. But someone has probably already thought of it. But someone has probably already done it better. My father, my mother, friends, and myself repeat imposter and dissonance. Under the single spotlight surrounded in darkness, pencil in hand, phone in hand, but only the blinking of the cursor stares back at me, and my thumbs freeze in place. The freeze frame of losing creativity, losing will, losing it all, while I disappear into a smaller image until I become nothing but darkness. She says, "You're the imposter." Imposter. And you and I are alone together. Alone together with the imposter. You are alone, 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 imposter.
We forgot to write lead actor.
You get the point. I thought about it. I was like, acted by, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, no, we're just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe? Zoe there? Did we lose her?
Mm.
She in her work meeting. This is a bad time. So let me tell you, I had to watch it a few times.
Mm-hmm. I read that in your comment.
Which comment was that?
It was the one on my essay.
Yeah, I know, but which? I had a lot of comments.
It was you said that you had to watch it like a few times, and what you got was that the audio of Alone Together, I repeated it back into the other parts.
Yeah. But I didn't get it the first time. All I heard was that there was just talk. It looked to me, the first time I watched it, was that like, okay, you were just lying on your bed procrastinating. You went to the closet, you were procrastinating more, then you were laying there, and then when you were talking to yourself, the voices, I couldn't hear what they were saying at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying not to listen to them because I was trying to listen to your monologue. Yeah, I was trying to hear what you were saying.
Yeah.
And so it was distracting. And you said something about your mother and father telling you some, whatever. And I thought those were the voices of your mother and father until I watched it again and realized, no, those were the voices that you heard the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the voice, the stuff that kept repeating. And yeah, my big criticism for this was just that I wanted your voiceover to be louder and the voices to be a little more creepy underneath.
Yeah. I actually thought about recording my parents, but I was like, I'd feel so bad to like have them like, hey, can you do this? That's kind of about you.
Right.
Go.
Talking about you now.
Yeah. And not to say that like this is basically something that a lot of people go through, and that they think like, oh, I'm not good enough. There's no point to me creating something that's already created.
Oh yeah, it's something that I loved what you said because everybody thinks that. Why should I even bother? I'm sure somebody else has thought of it, and they probably thought of it better.
Yeah.
We had a little saying when we were in theater school. Hope for the best, expect the worst, but probably your friends will get cast first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
And how many actors does it take to screw in a light bulb? Well, 1 to screw in the light bulb and 10 to say they could have done it better.
Yeah.
We always think that we can do better. And then when we do stuff, we always just rain on our own parade and say, well, it wasn't that good, because nothing is as ever good as the movie that plays in your head.
Yeah, and what was cool about this though was that like I even told friends, I was like, I hate it, but I really like the process. It was really fun considering like I brought back some like old editing software that they updated after years of like, because I had it when I was like 9, and then because I didn't really do anything.
Yeah, that's probably what I still use.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, well, let me get it back. I repurchased it. It was like fully updated with a whole bunch of new stuff. So I was like, sick, I'm gonna use this because I'm most familiar with it.
So tell me, because I'm still a little foggy on what was going on in the closet.
So the closet scene was just kind of it was a really bad transition just to show that I changed my clothes. Like that's pretty much all it was. Like it startled my mom because she saw like what I was doing with my pants and she was like, Maya, no. And I was like, no, trust me, it's not like that. It was just a transition.
Why did you choose to do it in black and white?
I chose to do it in black and white because it would, in the last scene, it makes the shadows look a lot better.
Okay. I know you were gone for a little while there, Zoe. Did you get to see it all?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on it? You go ahead, throw your thoughts in here.
I like it. It's kind of a more like up to interpretation a little bit, which I think it's not like as straightforward as some of them. But I did like it. Like it was an interesting take on the whole situation. But it was still like now that I'm talking to you and stuff, I get it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you were just trying to show that she changed her clothes, you could have probably just did that last part where you walked in there and unzipped your pants rather than the whole closet falling down on you or whatever. Because I was like, that must mean something. But what does it mean?
It was also an introduction to the little voices. So I probably made it a little too fast. What was said was just imposter.
Oh, no, yeah, I didn't hear that. I thought it said closet. So I was like,
closet
or something like that. I was like, oh, well, maybe she dropped something. I couldn't figure out what it said. I thought it was like a blip. I thought it was like.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we had seen more reaction on your face when you thought imposter or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. My son watched it with me, my 20-year-old, and he really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and at first it was like, you know, okay, I say, you should see this. And he goes, how long is it? I said, 3 minutes. And he's like, okay. So, and he watches and he's like, wow, wow, I really like that.
Mhm.
So he liked I think maybe you could have just even ended with the shaking, the imposter, and then had that fade out from there where you didn't have to focus back in on it again. I think that maybe would have left us a little bit more like, whoa, what just happened? So, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
all right.
It was good though. I liked it.
Thank you. I think on the narrative part, like with the voiceover of the monologue, I think I could have also gone with, there's like a poem that I made of an exact like copy of that story. And I probably could have done the poem because the poem's a lot more direct.
Well, I didn't mind the voiceover at all. I really didn't. I mean, I actually liked it. Actually, that was one of the things, was that I wanted to hear it more. I wanted to hear what you were saying. The poem, you know, it depends. I don't know what the poem sounds like, but it could make it too artsy is all I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this was more real. This is really something that we all think, really something that people go through. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, nobody would want to see it anyway. You know, whatever it is that's your talent that you're doing. So, no,
Yeah.
I think that was okay.
And I think the poem would take away from the actual like video portion of it, because then the audience will be thinking more about what you're saying in the poem, not focusing on the imagery.
Yeah, and trying to dissect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the voiceover, the reason why it's hard to hear is because it was like I added a effect that made it like a hollow sound, because I was like, oh, I want to make it sound like I'm thinking this as opposed to like, oh, it's just something that's going on. But in essence, that's kind of like, eh. So I probably could have just gotten rid of the special effect and just left it crisp.
Yeah, you know, either way, yeah, probably, because we want to hear you more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm listening to you and I'm trying to open Zoe's at the same time.
Okay.
So it's another MP4 and it says opening in 30 seconds. So let me share my.
I would kind of want to rewatch Maya's, just to, like, now that we know like the closet scene and all that stuff. That way we can kind of like take it in more, you know?
All right, that's what I was thinking that we should do, but I didn't want to. Okay, well, once I get this 6 seconds thing over, I want to make sure that I'll pause that and then we'll have it up. If it's showing. Give me a second.
Oh, Zoe, I do have to ask you, because I shared this with a lot of my friends and they all gave me the same feedback. What did you think of the last shot?
The one with the lady in the shadows? That one? It kind of reminded me of the Nun. Like, cool. You know, like the nun face from the movie?
Yeah.
But it also kind of reminded me of like Lone Ranger, like Johnny Depp's character. It was scary for sure, but like it was like I could kind of see, like, I don't know, that's what it reminded me of, but I'm just a weird person, so maybe that's just...
It reminded me of Exorcist.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that too. I think it was more like the black and like the white was more, that's why I thought like the nun, because she was very like monochromatic.
I think I was a little concerned about it looking a little too native and kind of like taking it like a completely different route.
I
like,
kind of see
what
that,
is this?
That's kind of like the Lone Ranger vibe, kind of.
Yeah. I basically, so I don't really own any makeup. And so I ended up mixing like, what was it? Charcoal and coconut oil. And I just like dabbed it onto my face.
Wow. That's impressive.
But even if it was like native, like it's kind of okay, because I mean like native burial grounds and like poltergeist, so it's kind of like you can pull on that too, so yeah. I don't mind it.
It was just supposed to be like a different form of me. Like it was still me, but it was like, oh, this is my inner demons me.
Yeah, I can see that. That was But that
Okay.
was really impressive for the charcoal and like I tried. So my original idea before I decided on this one that you're gonna see, I was actually gonna do a horror movie and I had filmed part of it, but I chose to use my friends as actors and they just were not good, so I had to change the whole idea. They were so bad, and I sat there and like tried to do special effects. I literally made like a fake wound. It was awesome, but it was ruined by their acting. So
Yeah,
just
I
wouldn't
mean,
consider it.
like that's why especially with like quarantine and everything, it's really difficult.
Mhm.
I thought about if I wanted to get other people involved because I thought about getting my parents and I was like,
Yeah,
nah.
no. And I had filmed this. I had filmed this originally like back in February,
Hmm.
and then I was like rewatching it, and I was like, no, this is not gonna work. Like it was. There's no saving it.
You
It
could
was
always
super bad.
you could always ask like local theater community groups.
Well,
So
I
long as
had
you
a
have a
girl in
script.
my class, and she
Mhm.
was an actor, and I was gonna ask her, but then like it was right before quarantine started, and
Yeah.
I was like, so I was like, no, I have to do like a whole new route completely.
Dang.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say there because I will tell you that actors are willing to act anywhere, anytime.
Yeah,
They will act for food. You don't have
yeah,
to pay them. They will act for food.
Oh, I would
Tell them
act
that
for
you're gonna,
food.
you
right?
tell them that you're gonna provide pizza. They're there. Because
Yeah,
actors like to act. We like to
Mhm.
get paid too because we like to eat, but actors like to act. They like to
Mhm.
perform. So,
yeah.
and if you need any not quite boomer women in your pizzas, let me know. I'd be happy to act in your shows. All right, you ready to watch it again?
Yes.
Here we go.
With my father also. As we all are together alone,
Alone together.
Pasta. It's just a hobby. You have no passion for it. You have no flair for it. No. No.
Alone
I
together.
climbed up onto myself lying in bed, the bed reached out under the sheets and touched my feet. My hair grew warm against my cold feet. Something seductive about myself and how I did it. I then proceeded to pin myself down as I climbed up onto myself. I looked down at myself, a wicked smile on my face. It's just a hobby. You don't actually care for it. Look how passionless you are. When was the last time you wrote? It's like that. It's impossible. Impossible. You keep trying to treat it like it's a big deal. It's just a hobby. And I found myself saying it in my dream. I see something that inspires an idea, I go write it. But someone has probably already thought of it. But someone has probably already done it better. My father, my mother, friends, and myself repeat imposter and dissonance. Under the single spotlight, surrounded in darkness, pencil in hand, phone in hand, but only the blinking of the cursor stares back at me, and my thumbs freeze in place. The freeze frame of losing creativity, losing will, losing it all, while I disappear into a smaller
image until I become nothing but darkness. She says, you're the imposter. 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 And you and I are alone together. Alone together with the imposter. Imposter. You are alone. 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 Imposter.
Yay.
And if you guys ever wondered, I actually do have the like story like here all written down. So in case you didn't hear anything, I could totally reread it.
I said, no, I heard it the second time too. You know, just, let me make sure I stop that. That didn't start. Ah. Yeah, another video started. A TED Talk. TED Talk comes after yours. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why either. It's I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna see. Right. So so yeah. I think the closet thing could have been a little shorter.
Yeah, definitely. I even like pinpointed where I could probably cut it. Like when I start picking up the clothes, I'm like, cut right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any other comments, Zoe?
No, I think the second time around it was definitely easier to kind of like distinguish, clarify. But and it was good, especially like I think this whole the assignment having to film it in quarantine makes you kind of change everything differently, and so you can definitely see like I could see like your your process of how you got from like this and that, like, you know, I'm probably rambling, but I hope you know what I mean.
I get what you mean. I kind of mentioned it to Miss Gigi here. But Zoe, could you guess what kind of camera I used?
No, I couldn't.
I used a webcam. I'm using the webcam that I'm using right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, if any of your students ever, you know, make a complaint, Miss Gigi, that, oh, I don't have a camera. Well,
Yeah.
no.
I use my iPhone camera, so I mean, it's
Yeah, that's
not,
sometimes better.
it's always it's doable. Plus, I kind of like not so much your camera, but like the graininess of a like normal webcam camera kind of adds to like for a horror movie that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or like even like film noir, because I mean all those are like shot in like the 50s. They didn't have the best cameras either, so
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you can always be inventive. Like you shouldn't always be like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have a camera. Yeah, you do. You have a phone with you all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. I buy my phone for the camera.
Yeah.
Seriously, not necessarily the video camera, but the camera, you know, for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to get a new phone now, but I have the Samsung because it has a better camera than the iPhone does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just always a step ahead there, you know. My husband has an iPhone. Anybody has an iPhone, I'm like, no, wait, I'll take our group picture. Then I'll send it to you guys.
See, and I'm the only one. All my other like family members and stuff, they have like Androids, but they're like the LGs and stuff like that. And so like they always have me take the pictures because my camera's like way better.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, guys, like it costs, I guess I know it costs more, but like it's worth it. Like
Absolutely. It is absolutely
so worth it.
I get to move up now to the Samsung whatever 20 that they're having now.
Oh yeah, the one with
and I wanted to
was
switch
a
to the
3.
Samsung, but
Okay,
I'm so used to iPhone now.
where the video went now because I had it.
I can pull it up. It's right here.
Okay, why don't you pull it up then? Because I had it open and then it downloaded and then it's gone now. So I have to find it again.
Let me just share my screen. Hold on. Where are you? Oh, you disabled it. So I can't. It says host disabled.
Wait. I'm sorry. Wait. All participants. Everybody can share. There we go.
There we go. Share, and it should be here. Can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, we can't hear anything, Zoe. If are you muted?
No.
Okay, make sure that your volume is all the way up.
Was there an option to also share volume?
No?
No. Well, there's no audio until like 20 seconds in, so.
Okay. I'm
Let
gonna
me
mute
try
myself.
again.
I'm gonna mute myself so you don't hear my sounds.
Okay.
Maya, do you hear any audio?
I do not. I wasn't too sure if we hit the 20-minute point.
Okay. I was like, I don't know how to make sure they hear it. Okay, so
Let me try. Let me look at mine.
okay, because I don't know why it's not long or audio.
I had just. Oh, there. Wait. Oh, I think I closed everything. That's great. Wait a minute, but you guys are still there, so I don't know. Excuse me.
Allergies getting you too?
Oh yeah, it's.
Mhm.
Mhm. My husband also keeps it freezing in my house, so when it's hot outside, I'm cold. He's like, well, you can put a sweater on. Okay.
I mean, I just hope that your husband doesn't do what my dad does, which is he'll also turn on the fan,
Oh yeah, no, at night,
AC
yeah.
and fan.
We have like all the covers on because.
No, my dad, he would have it at like 80 degrees all the time. So
Luxury.
no, it was hot. Like middle of summer, it's the heater's on and it's like 80 degrees, and I'm like, dude, go outside, warm up. It was always on.
Or just turn it off. I mean, you don't need to have it on.
No, because then he would be cold. Yeah, so we had the heater on all the time, and I'm like, dude, that.
Okay, I'm sharing my desktop.
Oh, your background changed.
You know what? I have it on like it's a slideshow.
Oh, okay.
Something happened. I was doing a slideshow for my niece and nephew who were getting married, and then her slideshow got stuck on there. Like, I don't want to see her slideshow all the time. And so I changed it to the only other slideshow I had, which was from my mom. My mom passed away about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's my crazy son there with the red eye. Let's see, it says starting in 5 seconds, so I just don't want to lose it. Open, let's see, it's opening. There we go. All right, play media. Now, cancel. I don't want to open the App Store. What is this? Okay. Preview not available. I got it to play before.
If you go to your download file, would it be there maybe?
Maybe. I don't need to download this because I already have it.
It's right there. It says there. No. Why?
Oh wait, are you pressing play media?
I did.
Huh.
But it's there. So why is it telling me to do this? I don't need to view it in the App Store. Okay. Open with. Let's try it with QuickTime. All right. There we go.
Hey.
Yay. Ta-da.
War changes a person. I came back with a shorter fuse and a high craving for a stiff drink. I spent most nights in combat wishing to be with her. Now, I just want to get away. She reminds me of a different time, a time I can never go back to. I see the bruises on her face that fit my fist, and I can't bear the face of the man I became. Diana deserves better. That night, fate came raining in the form of a red-headed beauty.
I haven't seen you here before. You got a name?
Jack.
Suits you. The name's Lillian. Listen, doll. I know I can use some fun. And by the looks of it, you can too. Wanna get out of here?
Want to tell us what happened to Charlie Monroe?
I don't know.
Well, you must know something, because your fingerprints are all over the gun.
It could have been me. Truth be told, I don't remember much of that night. I remember drinking and talking, but after that, nothing.
Can't take it anymore, Joe. Charlie has to go.
What are you thinking this time?
Find some schmuck like last time. So make the drink strong, will ya? Hey, Jack. Hope the Jello is keeping you warm. I wanted to thank you for taking the rap. Think of the waste it would be if a pretty little thing like myself ended up in prison. It's nothing personal, doll. Plus, you said it yourself. Your life ended on the battlefield. P.S. Don't feel so bad for Charlie. He was a grade A lowlife who had it coming. XOXO, Lillian.
I was waiting for credits.
No, there's no credit.
Okay. All right. What did you think, Maya?
So the Western card title card threw me off because I was like, because we had already seen like the previous bit of it, so I was like, this is not a Western, obviously. So that kind of threw me off, but it was good. I don't know why you discredit your voice acting. That was really well. It's not like you like paused at weird moments.
It was a lot of mistakes. I was sitting in my room recording, and it was a lot of like trying to figure it out. And then I think it's because for the bartender
Mm-hmm.
and the detective, his voice acting was like so good that I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna ruin it. Like, so I think that's what like it got like in my head. I was like, dang it.
You did really well.
It was good, and I would have never known. I would have never known until you had just now told us that it wasn't another voice actor.
No, it was me.
So you're good.
And then in terms of the genre, it's like detective. No, not detective. What is that? And there's a word for it, but I can't come up with it in my head right now. It's
Film
not.
noir.
Yes, that's what it is. 'Cause I was like, where is this? In terms of your flashing back and flashing forward,
Yeah.
I think you could have rearranged it. Like when it came down to
okay.
it was like you said a few days before. Because what confused me was the fact that there was that scene. I think they're at the beach. Because I saw a little picnic blanket.
Oh no! They were at their house, but
Oh, okay.
because I was gonna do a fight scene, I needed like the Lego board on the bottom to keep them from not falling over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scene I couldn't tell what it was.
Okay.
It didn't have a background, really. I don't think.
It was like a house background, but
Yeah.
I filmed it. I wanted it to look like it was nighttime, so I filmed it with like less light. So it was kind of hard to make out what was in the background.
Okay. In terms of that, I think you could have probably just maybe done like, what is it? Like those dark cloud like sheets.
Okay.
Instead of adjusting the lighting, because you could probably just keep the same lighting just because this is like a stop motion situation.
Which was
it's really
very impressive, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, this
Stop
is so
motion
cool.
Very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time, I know.
Yeah, it took a long time. And there's a few mistakes in the bar scene, the very first one, where the bartender actually falls. And if you look really closely, you can see where it like jumps really fast. And I forgot to cut that part out. And then when I was like editing it, I was like, no, I'd have to refilm everything. So I just like fast forwarded a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Didn't notice it. I think that perhaps, that I know it's, after the fact or whatever, that if you had layered in some music underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
think
what I was trying to do, but I couldn't find a good soundtrack.
Yeah, that's it. You have to find the right music.
Yeah.
It would have to be kind of the film noir kind of, genre, so that that would immediately bring us in to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Even with the titles. I didn't mind the titles because I'd seen them in all sorts of movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people have seen like The Great Train Robbery and stuff like that. So, Charlie Chaplin kind of movies. So you want to make sure that it's that it fits whatever you're doing. But I think the music would have told people what to expect and would have kind of helped the story along, especially not having any sound.
Yeah,
like the 20-second mark makes us think, well, am I just not hearing it? And it distracts us from watching.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of my concerns too when I was filming it. And I was like, I know I need something, and I had found like a sad soundtrack, but it was just too modern and it just it threw me off. And I was like, this isn't gonna work. So I tried, but I couldn't find a good soundtrack.
Yeah. I'm just saying for the future, if you had done it before, just having some sort of
something
sound there.
Yeah.
And maybe even adding, I'm just, throwing in, because it's so, it's very cool. but I think that sound would have really helped it out, like in the bar, maybe even having some background clinking
Like
glass,
jazz or
is kind
something?
of a sound or
Gotcha,
something.
okay.
Just something mumble, 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 peas and carrots, like there were other people in there or something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
If you ever need stuff like that, I took my audio from he was streaming at the time, so he's a YouTuber, and he does lots of looping stuff, and he has one that is particularly like at a restaurant, people are talking, like, oh, how's the salad, blah 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 blah, and he loops that.
And what is his
okay.
name? I'm
Mark
writing it down.
Mark Rubelet, it's MARC, and then Rubelet is like RIBELLET.
Okay.
Okay. Sound guy. I'm writing that down because I'm always looking for sound.
I mean,
Yeah,
primarily,
sound was gonna be the hardest thing, but that ended up being the hardest thing I think about, for me at least.
Mhm.
Is what? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna have to go now.
Okay.
Because my son is getting ready to take his AP test.
Oh,
and
okay.
he needs to log in, and I guess I have something in my email that he needs, and I'm gonna have to go look for that.
Okay.
But you guys can stay in this room if you want to and talk
Okay.
some more. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for coming. I'm really, really glad that you did.
Mhm.
And I appreciated you, and I am glad that you liked the class.
Yeah, thank you for being
Yeah.
superb.
Tell
Yeah.
your friends too, because we want to get more people to take this class.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell everybody you know. Sign up for class. Woohoo! You should be the best. Woohoo! Okay,
right.
and thank you guys. And if you haven't finished anything, finish it. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Leave.
Yeah, he said something that there's a ticket that's emailed to you. Is an entry ticket for it?
Did you find it? Oh, there she found it. So, yeah, yours was really cool though. Like,
Thanks.
for real, because I also wanted to comment before she left was the fact that your narrative was really good. I was taking a creative writing class alongside with this class to try to help with it, and you have like a whole story arc, which was perfect. Specifically your correlation to the title and then the character, she was like redhead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When I was filming it, my friend was actually here when I was like finalizing it,
Mhm.
and then we were coming up with a title, and then she was like, "Well, make it something about her red hair," and I was like, "Okay." And then as I was doing it, and then she was like, "Well, it doesn't really matter because it's black and white," and I was like, "No, but he mentions like she was redheaded, like he mentions it, so it'll work." So I
Yeah.
figured that was a good title.
Yeah, that was a really good title. Yeah, I guess I'm just not really familiar with film noir despite like what we watched in class.
Oh no, yeah, me neither. I did a lot of research
Mhm.
because I was like, this seems interesting. I didn't think a lot of people were gonna do it, and I kind of just wanted like the challenge of it.
Yeah.
And then so I watched like 2 documentaries and a whole bunch of film noir movies. It took me a long time to figure it out, and then I was like, okay, I got the basics down.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a struggle having to figure it out, but I didn't mind it. And then for the actual characters, when I was trying to look for like little puppets or whatever to use,
Mhm.
I needed someone who had like that like detective-esque look to him. So I actually used the Joker.
Yeah, I recognized. I was like,
Yeah.
isn't that the Joker
Yeah.
look?
I just painted him. And then the girl, his wife is actually Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Diana.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was perfect because I didn't have to come up with names either.
Mhm.
And the other one, the redhead, was Poison Ivy.
I was gonna
And
guess like Marvel Universe for some reason. What was her name? Black Widow. Because I was like, oh, she's a redhead.
Yeah, I was actually I looked at all the different Lego people,
Mhm.
and Black Widow, she didn't have like that, like her Lego person was like very like mannish. And
Mm,
Poison Ivy was the only one who's like very feminine. So I was like, all right, well, we got to do her. So
fair.
but it was fun.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that your friends just kind of like dipped and then quarantine.
No, well, he had I had told him, hey, I need a voice actor, and he's like, okay, because he does voice acting, so like cool. But then he had to like go somewhere with his grandparents, and then I was like, all right, and then he never responded, and I was like, okay. So then luckily I found like a voice acting community on Reddit, and the people on there were like super nice, and they're like, yeah, and I was like, I can't pay you, and they're like, it's cool.
Oh,
And I was like,
that's even
yeah,
better considering like I was gonna suggest going to Fiverr since that's where I am. But I know people on Fiverr will like they'll do it for money, but I don't
yeah.
know. I think the lowest that they can do is maybe like $1. But
So I
most of
just
the time
asked them, and I just like, it was like, I put like, it's last minute, like I needed them, like it was like 2 days before it was due.
yeah.
So I needed it like that day, and luckily they pulled through, and I was like, thank you so much.
So the footage you had was from like a while back, right?
The footage was not my original movie I was gonna make, the horror movie,
Mm-hmm.
that was from February, but that's the one that I couldn't use.
Oh,
This
okay.
footage I took maybe like a week or two before. And then, because I wanted it to be ahead of time because I knew it was going to take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about a week or two before. And then I just needed to finalize the script. I had the storyline, but I didn't have the script in mind. So I finalized the script, and then I sent it over to my friend, and then he just never responded. So then I was like, I need it today. So
I'm not gonna say what I'm not saying that this pertains to all boys, but that is very stereotypical boy behavior.
well, I mean, I couldn't be that mad at him because
Yeah.
he was going back to his grandparents' house to like help his grandma like move out his grandpa's stuff who died.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was like really close to his grandpa, so I was like, I can't be too mad at you, but also like you could have told me before.
Yeah, at least give me like a hey, nah, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, he just did nothing, and I'm like, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, boys are clueless like that.
Yeah, he was just. I was like,
Yeah, when it came to mine, actually, so I put it in the essay that originally the footage that I was using was being used for something else completely. Like it was going to be
okay.
used for an experimental film.
Mm.
But she assumed that I meant that this one was an experimental film. And I was like, I mean, sorta. Sorta, kinda.
Yeah.
Because originally I was planning on making a experimental film to I don't it's a weird explanation, but basically, do you know how the film industry is, exactly the entertainment industry in that they just want to entertain? Like
Yeah.
they just like if you're bored, they lose money. I wanted to do the opposite and encourage, the audience to be bored because it was also supposed to be a semi-documentary on what's going on like for civilians just staying indoors, being on their phone, falling into the swipe culture. And so, that's basically what I was going to do. But I was like, well, I need this assignment. So, and so those last scenes of like me in my bed and stuff were from like the day before. Before the assignment was due.
Yeah. No, I definitely procrastinated more than I should have with editing because I had never used the software that I used to edit, and so it took me forever to figure it out because it was so much different than the one I normally use.
What did you use?
It was called DaVinci something. It was weird, and I was like, because I had got a new laptop, so my other editing software is not on here. And so I was like, I'm not gonna go and download it and like install it and all that. So I found a free one, did it, but I should just installed it. So it took forever. It was so difficult, and I was just like,
oh DaVinci Resolve?
Yes.
Oh, this is kind of like what I used.
Yeah.
Except it's a lot more involved.
Yeah, it's a lot, and then it's like super weird. So I had to like watch like all the YouTube videos on how to use it. And then my friend was here, and so like I waited till last minute because we were like doing stuff, and then she was like, isn't your thing due in like 2 days? And I was like, yeah. She's like, maybe you should edit it. So yeah, it took me a while.
I'm glad that your friend got you on track. I didn't have anybody like that for me. I was just like, let's just go, let's grind.
No, I mean I still waited till the last day to like finish editing it, and then it was rough because the way that they do transitions and that thing, you have to like cut the scene first and then put the transition in, and my scenes were perfectly timed. So then I had to like figure out where to cut them and when to cut them, and then I was still like there's a scene where it's like a zoom in and zoom out of his wife with like the bruise on her face. That scene is like super long because I needed more time and I wasn't about to film another stop motion portion because it takes way too long, and I was like, no, I don't have time for that. So I just like made it zoom in and zoom out like longer. But
do you mind if I show you what I use, just so like, because what I was looking at was really just a lot, and the fact that you told me that you had to like cut in order to make a transition is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
All right, let me show you because it's kind of pricey from what I remember. I think I paid like $60 or something like that.
Okay, it's not too pricey.
Yeah, it's not like $100.
Yeah, because there's some that I saw and I was like, no.
Oh, is there a way that I could like specifically? Oh, I have to specifically show it. I can't just share my screen.
Oh, there should be it should be like right there where you pull up the mouse. There's like participants, chat, and then share screen. Like where you go to mute yourself. Should be right there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get out of that. Cancel. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny. And I don't know if that's like all teachers, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm not tech savvy. I'm like, girl, you're doing fine.
It's kind of interesting. You're a film person. You have to be tech savvy.
Yeah.
You cannot be.
It's interesting though to hear that she was talking about like struggling with Canvas.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, everyone is.
Yeah, Canvas is really rough.
Okay, so yeah, it gives you like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like you can get free effects for just getting it, but yeah, that's why. It was because there was a weird spacing. But I don't know if this looks super involved to you.
It actually does. It looks less involved than the other one because the other one you literally have to like the way you like it's kind of the same on the bottom, but all the transitions and everything, it has like different modes. So you have like the cut mode where you put in all the stuff, and then you have like an edit mode on the bottom. Like, let me see if I can pull it up just so I can show you because the other one's like crazy. Let me see. How do I go? How do I get out of here? I don't know how to do it.
There it is. Okay, so interesting. I guess I accidentally cheated the thing because you know how it said like the minimum was like 3 minutes and the maximum was 5 minutes?
Yeah.
This is why. This is what made me get like 3 minutes.
Oh, got you.
And that's why it popped up in color.
The time frame was definitely rough.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned that like, how do I explain it? Like with everything that like, let me see, because I'm pretty sure the videos that I had, yeah, these were going to be a part of the experimental film. So I have a whole bunch of footage, right? But the thing about these is that they would, like, how long is this one? This one's 1 minute 37 seconds, and I barely even used all of it.
Yeah, that's what, when I was doing the horror movie, I was like, 5 minutes isn't enough for like backstory and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing this one, I was like, 3 minutes is too long. And then I was like sitting there like having to like time everything and then figure out how many shots I needed. It was rough.
Yeah. I think you had asked why I did it. Was it you or was it her that asked why I did it in black and white?
It was me.
Yeah. Okay. So I originally, I ended up accidentally blending the genres
Okay.
because I was like, oh, film noir is about pessimism. I love that. So I made it black and white because of the film noir aspect. But then I was like, well, this is more of a horror. So I guess I'll
Yeah.
just leave it.
That makes sense. That's kind of what drew me into film noir too when I was like doing the research on it, was like the cynical portion of it, and I like that the whole point of the movie is to not have a happy ending. Like that's the whole point, is like someone needs to die at the very end, like basically.
I think you're cutting out.
Oh, can you hear me? No. I think.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it just says like my internet connection's unstable.
Oh, yeah, mine was like that yesterday. But yeah, so that's the whole point of the film noir, is to not have a happy ending. So that's kind of why I liked it.
Ooh. I can hear you a little bit, but it's like acting up. Hold on.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think no. Pausing again.
Oh, there it is. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on mute, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I just changed my Wi-Fi because we have like 3 different Wi-Fis.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, I was about to just go into dashboard and be like, I'll just invite her to a Discord and it'll probably work better.
Oh, true. We could just go to Discord.
Yeah. But you know, we're here, so you know. Yeah, stop bashing yourself about the voice acting. You did well.
I don't know. I was just like, I guess, because I wanted her to be a little bit more like sound older.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really sound that old. So when I had to do it, I was like,
So I had to, so like she had said, Miss Gigi, she was like, oh, you know, if Maya didn't say anything, I wouldn't have recognized that was your voice. Yeah, I almost didn't recognize that was your voice. I had to like really like tune in. I was like
listen to it.
Yeah, I was like, sounds like her.
Yeah.
No, you did pretty well. And also, I mean, if you ever consider that your voice needs more like age to it, just lower the pitch a little bit. Like not your own pitch, because that's kind of hard to do, but you could edit just to lower it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest part for me, was the voice acting. And then I don't know. I mean, it came out fine, but I was just like, there's parts that I wish I could change.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's the cool thing about, you know, film, is that you could change it whenever. It just takes time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then I don't know why I would choose stop motion either, because it was just
it was so, hella creative.
But it was so hard. Like have it like I had always wanted to do a stop motion film, so I was like, okay, this is my chance. Like, might as well do it. We can't film with anybody anyways. So, and then doing it, I was like, why would I? Like, it took me for like 2 scenes. I think it took me like 4 hours.
I mean,
yeah, it was good though. It was rough though, but I would definitely do it again. Maybe just not as long as a movie, like maybe like a minute long.
Yeah. How many photos in total did you take?
Let me see. It was, I know for like 17 seconds, it was like 179 photos. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, so It was rough. It was a lot. There was a lot of math involved because I needed to make sure I had enough scenes for the amount of like voice I had. So I had to like figure that out. I was doing like algebra. It was annoying.
So you had let's see, you didn't record it first. You did the voice acting first?
No. I had recorded it first, but then when I had the voice actors do their stuff, because it was different than what I was originally going to do, I had to make sure that they all lined up. So I had to add a few more shots in.
Okay.
But luckily I had done enough to where I could kind of like figure it out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was about to say, I was like, so you just recorded the voices and then put them in? That's impressive.
No. I did the shots, and then I think the only one that really needed to be added time was the bar scene. Because it was too short, so I had to like redo that one. I think that was the only one that I had to redo. The other ones were all fairly close to it, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was rough.
So then, let me ask, did you like write this, like dialogue and everything? Like, did you have like a screenplay for it?
Yeah, it's a very rough screenplay, but yeah, I did write everything for it.
Nice.
Yeah. That was like the one part. That's like the one thing that it had from the beginning was the storyline and like the most of the dialogue. I'm more into like the writing portion of things, and so that was like the easiest part for me was the storyline and all that.
So do you want to have like a career in that?
I don't think so. I'm not. See, for me, I wouldn't mind it, but I can't write happy stuff. For some reason, it just doesn't. No, I'm saying that like so like I can't like everything's like very like cynical and like sad, and so then like having to like write when they're like, oh, can you write this? I'm like, I can, but it's not gonna come out very well. Like,
well, that's why screenwriters, they typically work in groups. Not necessarily that it's like groups that they get to choose, but like they write in collectives.
Yeah.
You know, so your strength could be like, you know, there'll be the one person who's like, oh my God, and then they fall in love, and then you're like, they die.
No, that's like, and that's why I chose film noir, because it doesn't have a happy ending usually. And like one of my favorite movies, well, not one of my favorite, but like one of my movies that I love watching because of the ending is it's called One Day. It's super long, kind of boring, but it's like about these like two friends who like get together, but it takes years, and then like once they're finally together, she ends up dying, and it's like the best freaking ending. So I'm like, because that's real life, like that's more realistic than they live happily ever after. So I like when people die in movies.
Wait, yeah, I know yeah, the one with Anne Hathaway?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I definitely heard of it.
It's
but yeah,
long,
you know,
like, it's good. But
it's, then I think you would have probably liked, or you probably already seen it. What is it called? It has Ryan Gosling, Blue Valentine.
I haven't seen that one. I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't seen it. Because I hear like really good things about it, but I'm just like, I don't know.
That would totally be up your alley, because imagine if like, you know how have you seen The Notebook?
Yeah.
So you know how it's like The Notebook ends in like a very like, oh, you know, they're together and like they're old. Well, imagine, you know, because it has the same actors from The Notebook.
Really?
Imagine if The Notebook took like an alternative route to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I definitely like those movies like that. Especially like when they die at the end. I don't know why. It just makes it better to me. Like, just die.
Oh my God. And see, that's the thing, is that like I would definitely encourage you to take on screenwriting. You know, not to say that like that I'm good at it or anything, but I personally do screenwriting myself. I have the software for it. And so, you know, like I would encourage anybody to do it. Not anybody, but definitely you. Because like the thing about screenwriting is that you have to be able to, and just being a writer in general, you have to be able to torment your characters.
Yeah.
Like you have to make them suffer. And some people that's hard because they get attached. They're like, but I love this character, you know, he wears a ducky shirt and he's so unique.
He wears a ducky shirt.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, I don't know, have you ever played Sims? I'm sure you have. 'Cause everyone
Yes.
has. Okay, so like for me, I have a lot of like random mods on there that like make it crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I get sad when they die, but I'm also like, yes, they die. Like, I know it's really morbid, but I like when they die. Like,
have you ever lost somebody?
Yes. Wait, what do you mean?
Like, have you ever like somebody in your life has died?
Oh, yeah.
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 That's typically what brings it about. Because there's like a psychology to it.
Fair. I see that. I can see that.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes sense because like I lost someone close to me like when I was pretty young, and then ever since then it's like, yeah. Like, I get sad. Like in Sims, like I get sad when they die, but then I'm also like, well, like, why did you die? Because like the one person, like one of the mods I have is like for serial killers, and so one of the persons died because she doesn't want to be a friend with a serial killer, so the serial killer just like stabs her. So I'm like, there's a good storyline there at least. Like it's not just like sad.
It's not like, oh, they died of old age and
yeah, like there was like, or like another one who had like a drug problem, and so then he just like OD'd. Like, good storyline there.
Why do I feel like you're playing The Sims, right? And then one of them dies, and you're like, I gotta write this down.
Sometimes I really like. Sometimes I focus more on the story of like my Sims, because like I read a lot because I'm like it's boring. Like I'm not gonna just like sit here and just like. So I like, why not just make a storyline when we're here? Like you might as well just have like a good storyline.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I'm
maybe
learning a lot about
right, the psychology behind this is very interesting.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
yeah. It's typically like due to curiosity, and sometimes it's the enticement of like it's a taboo to be into that kind of stuff. It's kind of the reason why like people get into like goth, emo, they get into super heavy rock music because it's a taboo.
Yeah.
That's why like parents say like, oh, it's a phase, because sometimes it is. Yeah, but sometimes those are good phases. Like that was my good phase in like high school to middle school.
Yeah, I think we all went through that phase a little bit for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of creative people go through it.
Yeah, like it kind of like makes you in tune with like the darker side of life.
Yeah, and it makes you more curious. It makes you less basic and squeaky clean.
And you can see like, okay, well, sometimes this needs to happen. So you can't be like, oh no, this doesn't happen in real life. Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's why like, you know, it also is the reason why certain people are attracted to other people in friendship and relationships. Like me, I've never been attracted to, for the longest time I called them preps. Well, because they were like really basic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they look like. You know who they are.
Yep.
Cargo shorts and everything.
And like the stupid Sperry's.
Yes.
Fucking hate Sperry's. They're so ugly. Like, why?
I mean, they're efficient. Like, if you own a boat and you're near a boat and you're on a dock, that's fine. It makes sense because they have the plastic lining on the bottom that makes sense. But if you're like walking around in public, who are you? What are you doing?
Why? Yep.
I don't see any boats around here.
Yep. Sperry's were so annoying. And everyone freaking had Sperry's. I'm like, why?
Yep. I mean, they're comfortable, sort of. They're kind of chunky. Like,
yeah.
That's something that's kind of weird to me is that I don't like Sperry's because they're chunky, but I like chunky shoes.
Same. I think like I only wear like three brands of shoes because I'm very picky. but my favorites are DC's because they're so chunky. Like
DC's.
they're like the ones, they're like skater shoes. They're like really big and bulky.
I'm literally like Googling this because I was like, what did they look like?
Imagine Vans, yeah,
Oh,
like old
the
Vans.
ones that look like they could be a part of the Heelys collection.
Yes, kind of. But the ones the ones that I tend to get are like a little bit not as chunky, but those I like. Mostly because they're really easy to slip on and off.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's probably the same reason why they like Sperry's.
I guess. But Sperry's are ugly. At least DC's don't look that ugly, okay? But anyways, yeah, no, I was not, yeah, I mean, and then there's like a thing, I think it's because of my phase, like back in high school and middle school, but like, I like still was attracted to like people who are like emo or scene-ish, you know, like the old, like now that they're older and they like have tattoos and like
yeah
piercings and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I clearly have a type because of that time in my life.
yeah
Yeah. Yes. I get you.
I was super into, like, when it came to friend types, it was always like a weird collection of like strange people. Like,
Same. My friends are
like
weird.
Like I was friends with somebody who was, but the thing is that we were all like drug people
Okay.
one time in our life.
Okay.
And like I think one of them, he was like a big flirt, and then like now that we're adults and everything, he got like into meth. Which I was like, yo, that's a little hardcore. I'm not down with that sickness.
Yeah.
A
lot of my friends were like, they were really into anime, which cool. And then they were also like, for some reason, they were all like either like pansexual or like bisexual. Like their sexuality was always like not the norm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, like, I can dig it. Like, I don't mind. So they just made for like a very like fun collective. But I will say that they were also like probably one of like the truer friends. Like we were all pretty close, and they weren't fake a lot. Cause like before them, I had like a lot of people who were like into like the gangster kind of like thing, and they were so fake. And I was like, no, I hate this. So I mean, they were weird, but they were at least like real, you know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been weeding out a lot of those friends, especially because like it's not just like, you know, the gangster thug, you know.
No, it's not. There was definitely some that were fake, but
yeah, and you know, whatever they were faking, you know, it's just a matter of like, hey, that's not cool. I'm not about that. But yeah, no, definitely. I was friends with, most of my friends were dudes, and so they all had borderline bisexuality, but they were all straight.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
they were just all really close with
like
each
open?
other.
Yeah. See, like a lot of the guy friends that I was friends with back then, like they were always like borderline, like bi-curious, and I'm like, cool, like you do you.
I mean, they didn't admit it. They didn't say anything about it. They just kind of like.
Yeah, there was a lot of like questionable things that they did, and I was just like, okay.
It was like, y'all are really touchy with each other. And to make matters worse, it was like if you were to, because there was a post I saw that some boys will flirt better with their homies than with their own girlfriends. That was basically my entire life.
It's true.
I was like, why are you like so much loving and nicer to them?
Yep. Yeah, that was a lot of my guy friends back then too. They were just like way too close, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's my guy friends right now. I'm friends with a group of guys that are just all. I mean, one of them's definitely bi. The other one is questionable, and then the others are just like gay for each other.
Okay. See, I don't have a lot of guy friends right now. I really only have like, because I lived in Austin for a long time, and then I moved over here sophomore year, and so I just never got that close with people here. I only had like 2 friends here, And then I have like my best friend from Austin.
Now you have a third.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. We can make movies together.
Yes.
He's a voice actor. I'm making another stop motion. You can make voice acting and I do it anymore.
Yeah, and then I have to like get on you to do the editing. I mean, I could do the editing. I love editing.
I don't mind doing editing.
honest.
It was just takes me a while because I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. The motivation.
I only have like two friends here and they're all girls. Because a lot of the guy friends, like, guys just don't keep in touch that well for some reason.
Like I said, it's a guy thing. They
They
just
just don't.
they're clueless.
Like a lot of my guy friends, they're like, they don't live here anymore. So like some of them live in California, some of them live like in the valley. So I'm just like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely see that with guys. Guys are weird.
They're absolutely clueless. Especially, how old are you?
22.
Yeah, we're in our 20s. So yeah, of course, they're clueless.
They're dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
And I think they're gonna only get smarter when they're like, what?
I think it's like 27 or 28 or something.
Yeah.
If that.
If we're lucky.
Yeah, if not, they're just gonna stay the same.
Yeah, no, that's I was about to make a really bad joke and say like that's why I'm bisexual, but like
honestly, I get it. Like, I'm just like, no, guys are dumb. But then at the same time, like, but like, see, I'm like more like on the bi-curious side of things. But I haven't like done anything with the girl, so I'm like, maybe, who knows? Maybe that's like the better side. Who knows? I don't know. Because I have a friend and he's gay. Well, he's bi. But he's like, no, like, he's like, I prefer dudes. I'm like, why? And he's like, because girls are crazy. And I was like, I can see that. I can totally see that because my friends are crazy. So I get it. So I'm like, maybe it's not the brighter side. Who knows? I don't know.
well, it's actually more of a matter of like, so there are certain people that you will attract and then there's certain people that you'll be attracted to. And sometimes it'll like coincide and you'll get lucky, but most of the time the people that you attract, it's because that you put the people that you're attracted to on a high pedestal, so you like don't communicate with them well enough, or that it's typically a matter of standards, right? When it comes to the people that you're attracted to. If you have low standards, the people that you're attracted to will probably be attracted to you, which is the worst. But sometimes, you know, like some girls are into really basic meathead guys and the guy is attracted to them for their body. So it's still some kind of attraction, but it's just really crappy attraction.
I like, this can sound really messed up, but it kind of goes along with everything else. I like people who are at one point broken. I know, that's so bad.
Obsession with death and broken people. So wait a minute. Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse?
No. I've seen like pieces of it, but I haven't. I'm not a Marvel fan. I know. That's why I chose DC characters mostly.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to take back my friend card.
That's fair. I get it. I think like Marvel has like better movies for sure, but like the whole like DC universe is like,
they're dark.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm more attracted to them, because Marvel's a little bit more like happy, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean Marvel has borderline dark stuff, but it's not anything that's like true.
Yeah, like DC, like Batman's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I think the only thing about Marvel that's dark, from what I remember, was that they have a character that like wanted to be a superhero so badly, that I think it was Professor X comes up to him and is like, oh yeah, by the way, you do have a superpower. And he's like, oh boy, what is it? And Professor X is like, you can only explode once. And he ends up dying, like, of course, because, you know, this kid's probably, he's probably put into a situation where he needs to save somebody, or he's like, oh, I hate my life, and explodes and dies. But yeah, that's as dark as it gets.
Yeah. It's
actually, since you like dark, that makes me think of, do you know about Gerard Way's series?
Oh, the Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
I have seen like the first few episodes, but I like just started it because I was doing like I also have chemistry, so I was like focusing on that a lot because chemistry was hard. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, chemistry is like up my alley. I wish I took it instead of physical geology.
Okay.
But I mean,
Yeah.
are you like done like yet or no?
No, I still have. So I just transferred over to A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna do like a dual enrollment for like at least like this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still need to take organic chemistry, and I don't want to take it at A&M. So I think I'm gonna take it either at Palo Alto or St. Philip's, probably St. Philip's, and then just do it that way. But I still have 2 more years because my degree is actually biology. Yeah, I know. But I was like, I really want to take a film class because I was like, I really like
Yeah.
it. And I've made my first script ever. Oh, I'll have to send it to you one day. It's so bad. It is so bad. But it's about this friendship between like these 2 people in high school, and then like it's like a love triangle, and then like one of them dies obviously because it's me.
Yeah. Somebody has
And
to die.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really bad. It's really bad. But
I
I made
mean,
it in like 6th grade, so like it was gonna be bad.
I mean, that's a lot better than what I did. My first screenplay was on Google Docs.
Okay.
And it was about a boy that I had a crush on.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen, I mean, this probably isn't of your interest based off of what I'm gathering. But have you seen, what is it called? To All the Boys I Loved Before?
Oh, I love that movie.
What? It's wait, the movie.
Wait, no. I'm thinking of the other one, the new one on Netflix.
Ah.
To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, the movie. The one with like the Noah something.
Noah Centineo.
There you go. I couldn't remember his last name. I don't know his last name.
Yeah, I
But
don't
like
even
I
know
like
if
watching romance stuff. I just can't write it.
Okay. Because there's a there's a particular scene where Laura Jean is like, he's like kind of showing up in her imaginary like thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And so it's kind of like that. I didn't take it in vain of that. Like I didn't even see it before that. To make matters worse, I also asked that boy if he would act it out with me. It was in high school, and he was like, no, but thank you. Like, he was super nice about it, and I was crushed.
Actually, so to make you feel less bad,
Oh.
actually the main character in my movie was based on my best friend who I had a thing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally named him the same name. So like it's not even like trying to hide the fact that it's about him. like 100% it's not.
I mean, mine kind of came close. I named him Jay. His name was Justin.
Okay, no, his name is Dominic, and the main character's name is Dominic. Like, there's no hiding it at all. But to be fair, like, I think I did show it to him, but like, he was cool about it. Like, he was like, whatever, and I was like, cool, you're not even mad about it, it's fine. But yeah, so there was no hiding that one.
That's cute, though.
Yeah. I mean, he ends up dying. No, he doesn't die. I don't remember who dies, but someone dies. So yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, at least we have like a similar thing, like the first screenplay that we wrote about a guy that we liked. So
I mean, I wonder if that's like the case for everybody, you know?
Right.
Like,
I would think that it would be.
because like you're gonna want to write based off of something that you really like, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows? I feel like I'm just gonna make a list of movies you need to see because I'm thinking now of like a whole bunch of like sappy, like dead people movies. Like The Time Traveler's Wife.
No, haven't seen that one.
It's
I don't watch a lot of movies, which is weird. I know it's weird. I would rather, you know what? Okay, have you seen Korean dramas?
period dramas.
No, Korean dramas.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is my fucking shit. I can watch that every day, all day. And that's really weird because they're super dramatic and super annoying, but I can watch it all the time.
Oh yeah, like Love Alarm.
I haven't seen that one. So
It's not my thing. I like K-dramas, you know, because I can get into it and I can get all like in the feels, but like I just wasn't
I didn't think it was gonna be
into
that
it.
good. That's why I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so okay, they don't have it anymore. But there used to be a thing called Drama Fever, and they had like all the good dramas on there. But on, I want to say it's on Netflix. I think it's called like Fated to Love You. Let me see. Let me make sure before I like tell you, because I don't think they have it anymore. But they might. But that's a really good one to watch, because it's very like it's dramatic and lovey, but also like there's a little bit of darkness to it. Because I'm not gonna not give you that. And then, okay, no, they have like the Taiwanese version of it, but that's a good one. But yeah, I watched a lot of those, and I'm totally into them. They're fun.
Oh
They're,
dang, I didn't know that they had Cheese in a Trap on here.
yeah, they just added it.
Yeah, it's
Added
you
that
know
one.
it used to be a comic, not a comic, a manga.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know. I have a lot of K-dramas on there, and I'm just like, oh. And then my parents are like, "Why are you watching something that's not in English?" I'm like, "Shut up. It's good. Leave me alone. It's not bothering you."
Are you into any other like foreign series?
I have seen. There's one called Baby. It's an
Mhm.
Italian series that I actually started watching because I was taking Italian last semester, and I wanted to like learn the language better. That one's pretty good. It's kind of like an Italian Skins kind
Mhm.
of. That one's pretty good. I've seen nothing else that's in like a different language. I've seen like English shows and like Australian shows, but I've been trying to get into French movies because there's like
Mhm.
this like really cute actor who's like French. So that's why he's have you ever seen Hannibal Rising?
Hannibal Rising?
Yeah, it's like the prequel, like the backstory behind Hannibal Lecter.
I think I've seen bits of it.
Okay, so it's the person who plays Hannibal, and he
Mhm.
just had like one of like those really like weird dark faces that just like love it. But he's a French actor, so like he only does French movies. So,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen anything else. I mean, I'm like anime, but I haven't watched anime in a while because I'm very picky when it comes to anime.
I have a suggestion for you.
Okay.
So it's Portuguese, but it's a comedy.
Okay.
And it's kind of like I don't know how you are religiously, so it might
I'm very open. Like I took a world religion class, so I don't really care. Like I'm like
okay.
whatever.
Okay. Because I know that some people would feel kind of like weird about this topic and they'd be like, what the heck? So this is kind of more in light of like, how do I explain it? Religious comedy that isn't like too enforcing on like, oh yeah, Christianity.
Okay.
It's a bit more open, especially considering just as a small spoiler, it like comes up in like the first episode. The main character is what's called an angelus.
Okay.
And he questions like the existence of God. And he's an angelus.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Yeah.
It's
I haven't
called
seen any Portuguese shows, but I don't like to me I don't mind reading subtitles, so I don't care.
yeah, I mean
It doesn't matter.
That's the life you must live if you watch anime.
Yeah.
If you're not reading subtitles, who are you?
And then like I have subtitles on like just like English, like just shows that are in English. Because I just like I'm so used to reading them and people are like, why are you have subtitles on? I'm like, because it's natural to me just to read subtitles. Like, I don't know.
It also makes it like you become more aware of the details of like
Yeah,
what they
because
say.
like exactly. And even like in certain shows, like the spelling of names, Like
Mhm.
like I was watching this one show and the girl was named Brianna, but they spelled it differently. It was Bry, and I was like, okay, like that's like an interesting detail that you wouldn't know if. Also, my dad was blind, like from one eye, and so I watched some shows in audio description. Try watching a show in that one, like Penny Dreadful. I watched Penny Dreadful. That one's really interesting to watch in audio description because it's like reading a book. I don't know. I highly recommend it. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Different. It's different though, but it's a good kind of like different aspect to watch a movie.
You said you wanted to watch more French films?
Yeah.
I mean, I have two, and they're like sappy. They're also like, I don't know if you know about like how French, they are very like pornographic.
Yeah. Actually, I think I did watch one French. Oh, what was it called? It was about like this. I want to say it was like a girl and her teacher, or no, it was like two friends, and they were like discovering their sexuality together. But I forgot what it was called. It was
Is
like
it called The Warmest Color?
Yes, that one. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. That one's definitely something. I think the story was actually like, it was some girl and her like friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah. On top of that, there's also Gasper Knows Love. The title is actually just Love, but the Gasper No part is the fact that he's the director.
Oh, okay.
And he makes some really good films. They're very artistic.
Yeah, I think French film tends to be very like a little bit more of thinkers, I think, from what I've seen. Yeah. They're a little more interpretative than American film.
I mean, the thing about he has one that's called The Void that's definitely like deep interpretative. It's like a high trip. Whereas for Gasper Knows Love is really straightforward. It's just incredibly like, oh, because somebody definitely does die.
Awesome. Love it already. Hands down.
I don't know if you could see my cat. Probably not, but she's being incredibly annoying.
No, I can see her. It's fine. No, my dogs are outside right now, so they're like barking. I'm surprised you haven't heard them because they're being a little annoying right now.
I think I heard them earlier.
Yeah, there's a squirrel out there. They like to bark at squirrels.
I mean, hey, you see a squirrel, why wouldn't you want to bark at it?
Yeah, they're fine. They're just like annoying sometimes. I'm like, all right. Like I worked from home when the semester was on, and I was making a phone call, and then one of my dogs started barking, like in the house, and he wouldn't shut up, and I'm just like, Brady, be quiet. Like I'm on the phone with somebody. So he does that a lot, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that people generally are like respectful, and they're like,
they get it.
Yeah,
dogs are kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah, no, cats are definitely annoying too, especially when they start getting into your mint box. I'm gonna take care of that real quick.
Okay.
Also, yeah, you can see that I'm like in my bed. She was like, "Oh, you look so professional." I was like, "Sure."
Not a sister.
And I'm back.
Nice.
Yeah, my ungraceful tanglement of wires.
Oh, I know, that's the worst.
That's the only downside to this microphone, is that there's just so many wires. It's funny because The reason why I got this microphone was actually because I wanted to start a podcast, but I was like, podcasts are typically better when there's a second person, because most of the time when there's only one person, it's like a narrative.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I guess I'll just have a microphone then.
Yeah. I was thinking about starting a podcast too, because my friend was like, oh, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, we should tell her to start a podcast. But then I was like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? Like, I was like, I don't know. But I'm still thinking about it. And I have a microphone from my dad. He used to be a DJ, so like he has a lot of like audio equipment and just like weird fucking shit that he just like collected over the years. So he has like a few microphones in there that we could use, but I'm just like, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I mean, I certainly have a podcast idea. The problem is that, again, can't execute it by myself. Basically, it would just be like, because throughout the day, I'll just have random ass thoughts, and I'm like, I wonder what the answer to that is. And so I'll Google it, and it would basically just be like Googling everything and starting conversations about it.
Oh, nice. I had like a thing of like, just like, but I feel like this is done before, but like giving like the perspective of like, because at the time it was like me and my 3 friends, my 2 friends, and we all have like different like backgrounds for the most part. Like one of my friends, she was like Korean and black, and then my other friend was like Mexican and Nicaragua, I can't say that word, from Nicaragua, whatever. She's like not Mexican like fully.
Okay.
But and then like her parents were immigrants. So like I wanted to do like our perspective of like different things, because I was like from here and I'm like different, like, you know. But then I was like, that's kind of boring, and I feel like that's done before. So like, no.
No, you are not falling into the imposter syndrome thing right now.
But it's true though. I feel like it's been done so many times. And then now I don't talk to like my friend who's like Korean and black, which like I think her perspective was like the most different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, maybe. But then I also wanted to do like bucket list on a budget. Like do like make a bucket list and then like try to do it for as cheap as possible. But that would still require money.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still trying. I mean, but that's also dangerous. Like, what if somebody's like, oh yeah, I want to like parachute. I want to like go parachuting. Oh yeah, here's a cheap ass parachute with a hole in it. Ooh, I hope you didn't cut out.
No, sorry, I was talking to my mom.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, it would be like, I don't know. So I was like, something like that. Like there used to be a vlog channel, I don't know if it's still around, called TFL, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like these like 5 dudes who would just like do like bucket list shit, like just dumb shit. And like I was like, that's cool. Like that sounds like a fun idea.
I did.
Or even
just
like
because.
I don't know. I still don't know. But I'm like, I'll find something, because I feel like podcasts could be fun. It'll give us something to do, so we're not just like here bored.
Yeah, I mean, like, just because somebody else may or may not have done it doesn't mean that it would distract from the fact that you haven't done it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, everybody else has done it, but have you?
Yeah.
And everybody has different experiences.
That's fair. So maybe I'll try to get my friends together and we'll figure something out.
Do it.
I'm
trying to get my male friends together to try to do a podcast, because they're so freaking weird. They'll go off on tangents of like one of them will definitely get high, and then he'll just start something that like gathers around with them. And I don't necessarily even like care to be in it, because truthfully, I don't think I'm as interesting as them. But like they'll just go off about like God, science, hogs. For some reason, hogs is a reoccurring thing.
Weird. Yeah. No, like I had my best friend, me and him, we like to argue religion a lot because he's Catholic, like hardcore Catholic, and I'm not Catholic. I'm like Protestant. And so like we would always like argue, like I would ask him like questions and I'm like, well, like what's the point in doing this? Like there's no point to doing this. And he's just like, yeah, there is. And then so we would like argue about that for hours and he would get like so mad and it was fun. Like we could argue about anything.
I feel like if you guys got a Mormon in that, he would just kind of be like the
Right? Or like a
nice
Jehovah's
middleman.
Witness. Oh my God. Like that could have been so fun. But yeah. And then I have another friend who he is a webcam performer. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I like he's so fucking interesting to me because for the longest time I did not know that he was gender fluid until like maybe like a year ago, and we've been friends for a while. And then I was like, dude, I didn't know that because he like sent me a picture and he was like wearing makeup and like in a dress, and I was like, bro, how do you not tell me? He's like, well, yeah, like I was like, what the hell? And
Well,
so like he would be
yeah.
interesting to like talk to, and I was like, that's so cool. Like I like to, and that's like what I like to do. I like to hear people's stories. So like I don't care what it is. If it's weird, I don't care. Like just tell me. Like,
Dude, you could just do like an interview podcast.
I should. Yeah.
You're like, and today we have Zoe Ramirez on call.
Because I meet some weird people. Like I met this one guy and he was from New York and he was a recovering drug addict, but he was like hardcore. So he did everything but meth. So he told me. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then but he was also like really nice. And then his sexual kinks were like crazy. Like he was like, it was hard. Like we would talk like every day. He was so fucking interesting. And then he was like, no, like I'm gonna die on this day. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself before I turn 30. And I was like, okay. Yeah.
I knew somebody like that. His name is Tanky. He was, and it was weird too because I met him in high school, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, when I'm done with college, when I'm done with high school, I'm just gonna kill myself." I was like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
He did it, but still disappointed.
No. I was like, oh, like that's good. Like, cause I was wondering that question. Like, did he not?
Nah, he didn't.
This guy was. And then his thing too, he was like, oh, I have really big dogs because he had Alaskan Malamutes. And I was like, bro, like that's nothing. I had like a huge dog, and he's like, no, like this dog's huge. And I'm like, I had a dog who was like, I had a Mastiff Great Dane mix. So like he was fucking huge. Like, calm down. But yeah, he was interesting. I met a lot of interesting dudes, like, and just people in general.
Interview them, especially now since you know like all this information about them. You can write it down and be like, and so you just ask them about it again and be like, so tell me about your sexual kinks.
I should really just like, or maybe even like just like finding like random people and then just like interviewing them. Like that could be so fun.
Dude, you went to the Reddit community. I'm sure the Reddit community would totally be like, hell yeah.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen like Ask Me Anything?
No.
There's like a Reddit community of like Ask Me Anything, and some of them on there are like crazy. Like they're so freaking interesting. They're weird though. Like there's this one about a guy who like had like a sexual relationship with his mom because he had an injury, and his mom like wanted to help him, but he was like, but it's not like I was attracted to her. It was like it just happened, and I was like, what? Yeah, some of the things are weird on there, but people are weird and they're interesting. So maybe I should do that. Just like ask people on Reddit, like, hey, doing a podcast, need someone interesting, come at me.
I would listen, especially now. You know, you could do the social distancing thing while interviewing them.
Man, now I'm totally gonna do this now.
I don't know. Have you heard of Tiny Meat Gang?
No.
Okay, so they're two dudes that they do podcasts in general, and they'll just talk about like YouTube drama and stuff. But they have two formats of how they do it. Will have the actual video recording, and they'll put that on YouTube.
Okay.
So it'll show them, you know, talking and stuff, and then they also put that audio onto Spotify.
Oh, okay. That could be fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Totally do that. Now I'm gonna look into that. gonna ask my friend who's a webcam performer and be like, hey, will you do this for me? He probably
Yeah,
would.
of course. Yeah, you'd have to get their consent, like right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would. He's pretty chill about things.
Yeah, and then he could advertise his webcamming.
Yeah. Because like, okay, so he used to be like a freelance writer from DeviantArt, like, I don't know, it was like, and then he, I guess, wasn't making a lot of money that way, so then he got into webcamming, and he was like telling me about it, and I'm just like, that's interesting. He's like, yeah, so he has, like, social anxiety or something, so he can't like have a normal job. And so he just decided to do that, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah. You know what this also reminds me of? What's his name? He used to be on Smosh. I don't know if you ever watched Smosh.
Oh, yeah, the Anthony, right?
Yeah, he does those kind of interviews.
Day in the life. Yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah, so then, girl, do it. I will support. I will be there. I'll be like, hey, we gotta tell all about this.
Okay, now I'm gonna look into it because that'd be fun. It'd be really fun.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, you know, it's just a matter of writing down questions to ask them. Especially since you know stuff about them already.
Yeah. It could be even fun just to like a stranger, like, hey.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, you just have to clarify with them about that beforehand, because if you ask them like, oh, so tell me about this, they might shy away and be like, well, I already told you, so like stop asking.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know, so yeah. I don't know why I'm like I'm over here like thinking like product management and shit, and I'm like, huh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into it and then just see if I can like find somebody to interview first.
Yeah, well, hit me up if you have any product management needs.
Definitely will.
Or editing, I could help with that, so long as, you know, the thing about editing and my idea of what editing should be is that, like, if I were to edit for somebody else, I would have to show them that I'm doing it right then and there, so that, like, I'm making sure that I have, like, what they want, and it's not just like, oh, you know, edit whatever.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Because you could end up, you know, removing and cutting things that were crucially important.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, I definitely
like when they say do anything.
Yeah, like I definitely have seen that with like certain YouTubers. They have somebody else editing for them, and they'll cut on a certain part, and you're like, wait, but I feel like there was more to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna like message my friend right now, like, hey, I'm gonna start a podcast. Will you totally be in an interview?
I mean, dude, you could do it over this Zoom call. Honestly, though, I would suggest using Discord because Zoom is kind of
yeah. Yeah, no, that's how I talk to him most of the time.
It's so funny that she's like, oh yeah, you guys have like experience with Zoom. I'm like, I have one experience with Zoom.
I only had experience because I had like meetings for work and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was only like 2 meetings. I'm just like, Zoom is like not cool.
No.
Super laggy and just weird.
And it's not safe either. Apparently it's very easy to get hacked. Like, I don't know if you saw in like one of the corners, it said that like she had encrypted like stuff, which it was like, I feel like that's a lie.
No, I didn't say that.
Let me give you my Discord because
yeah,
because I am gonna have to go in a minute to Target. It was very nice meeting you, though.
Yeah, it was. It was very fun hearing and watching the movies.
Yeah, I wish, I don't know, like, the bad thing about online classes is that there's just not enough student interactions.
Yeah, there really isn't.
No, like, and that's kind of like, I don't know if you got my email. I think I sent one like sometime during the semester, and I was like, hey, if anybody needs help, hit me up.
I don't know.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Like, the fact is that nobody looked at it.
Really? No, I don't check my email, my Canvas a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like, I think the only time I checked it was once when it was like quarantine time, and they're like, "This is how we're gonna do class now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. It is. Okay. That is my Discord thingy. I don't know if you need the space. I don't use Discord that often. But yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, I also forgot to mention. So not only was it like the reason why I got my mic was to do podcasting, it's also because I stream.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes I'll stream ASMR, and that's where the voice acting part comes in.
Oh, okay. I got you. That makes sense.
So, yeah.
I'm trying to find you right now. I don't. No. Maybe it's capitals.
Oh, I'm a big dummy. I literally could have just copied it. There it is. Okay,
There,
so
I
it's
think I got
minus.
you.
Yeah, it's without the space.
Yeah, I got you.
Sick. All right. Well, I will chat with you later.
All right, sounds good. Have fun at Target.
Yeah, have fun talking to your friend about like creating a podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him like right now, hopefully.
Okay, bye.
Bye.